All right, we are live. This is lesson 7 of the Zero to Hero Power App Saga. Today we have Leo Russo. Leo is a star in this niche. If you don't know Leo, you gotta search him up. I'll throw some links here in the chat area for his YouTube channel. It's lots of fun. One of the things that I really appreciate about Leo is that he's always bringing new people to his channel. So you see other folks like Rudy Mar from Brazil presenting there as well. Just a bunch of cool people. That is the guy right there. Just a bunch of cool people presenting there on his channel as well. But again, what I value the most about the channel is that he's opened the door for other people also to present and get started. So that's the heart of community. So Leo, thank you so much for dedicating time to us today and showing your secrets. So the floor is yours, my friend. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thanks, Vitor. Thanks for having me, and thanks, Guy, for joining this session. And I want to start telling you a zero to hero story here. Uh, just a second. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Okay. Right. I think I'm in the wrong screen. Let's try again. Okay. Right. So this story is not actually about me. It's a story about a guy named Rafael. Rafael works as a physiotherapist for one soccer team here in Brazil. And at some point, he discovered Power Platform and he started to try to do his own thing. The process in the company were all being made in paper and spreadsheets, and he tried his best to get that to the next level and try to experiment some stuff in Power Apps. And here we have this local community where we do network and tell things to each other um, to grow technically. And this guy asked us if we could help to give him ideas of how he could create one application to evolve the process in the company. So me and the guys in the community here, Rudimar, I think is there, and Pedro, I don't know if he's there too. Uh, we tried our best to help this guy, and we created a very basic app for him to start. And after some point, he was making it himself and implementing in the company. And this week we received some interesting news from him. So this was 6 months ago, and turns out that a local news channel, actually the biggest broadcast TV in Brazil, made told his story in the news about how he is changing the process in the company and how he's using this app that we kicked off for him to change everything, to make the digital transformation in the team. So this is a very interesting story from one guy that came from zero to hero. And I decided to tell it for guys, if you are starting out, is a rough path, but if you dedicate yourself, you are going to get good things out of it. So this is Rafael stories, and that's all for today. Thank you, guys. Just kidding. We have another we have another part now that is the hands on. And feel free to make comments and interrupt me at any time in case you have questions. And initially, this session is named "Turning Spreadsheets into Powerful Apps." So this is the story of Rafael. But I think the main point of turning spreadsheets into apps is to first have good foundations about what you are building. So as we saw in the previous classes with Chris, he told us about design database, and Gita told us how to create a good UX. You know, these all are fundamentals, are pillars for delivering a good, a solid solution. And this is what I want to bring to you guys today. It's something that has more to do with UX, UI, and layouts, that is the use of containers in Canvas app. So let's explore this concept of containers, understand how it works, and how it can help you to deliver better solutions. Okay. All right, Vitor. If there are any questions, please let me know. I will move forward here. Okay.
All right, I got you.
All right. So here's my LinkedIn, my YouTube channel, and this purple thing right here is from Locodera, the company that I work. We develop special components and solutions for Power Apps. In case you wanna know more,
Hey,
just
Leo.
use the QR code. Okay.
Sorry to cut you off. I don't know if
Okay.
it's the same for everybody, but I only see your desktop. I'm no longer seeing
Oh, okay.
the PowerPoint.
I see. This is the issue of having too many screens. Let
I
me change
know.
here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm the right one. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nice. Sorry, guys. Okay, so here's my contacts in case you wanna connect. Just point to the QR codes here. And if you have any doubts later, any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Okay. Right. So as I mentioned before, today we're going to talk about containers, right? So this is the definition that we have in Microsoft documentation about containers, but making it simple terms, this is a way to structure, to organize the objects that you have here in Canvas app into a nice layout. Okay. There's some limitations that we have, like we can't use within forms, we can't use these objects right here, data table, PDF viewer, barcode scanner, but these are exceptions, because all of the other objects we can use. Okay. And right. So as I told you, containers are this concept of having hierarchical grouping in Canvas app. So we have grouping that, is when we have several objects and then we group the objects, and then they don't have actually this concept of hierarchy. They are just floating around. And with containers, we can structure that. Okay. It might be kind of abstract, just saying. So let me show you what I mean. Okay. We have three types of containers. To start off, you can find the containers here if you go for insert and type container. We have horizontal container, vertical container, and just container, right? So let's explore these three types of containers. In this screen, we have in the middle this section, which is a vertical container, right? And one thing that is interesting is that you can change the orientation at any time, the direction, right? If you are in a vertical container, you can turn it to a horizontal, and so on and so forth. So what it means, a horizontal container? Let's insert some objects here to understand what is going on. So I have this Power Apps logo image, and I just added in the vertical container. Uh, let's add another one to understand. If I add a second object here, it's going to be displayed vertically. They are, as you can see, being stacked on top of each other. And as I keep adding more um, objects the logic is going to follow. And what is interesting about it is that you can predefine the behavior of the object. So here we have some properties that you can only use when you are using containers, such as this alignment that we have here. We can align on the left, align on the right, align in the middle, or we can stretch. So you decide the individual behavior of each of the objects. So I can align one for the left, one for the right, and keep one in the middle, or stretch one here. And another interesting thing about the container is the possibility of having this concept of flexible height, which means that we can dynamically change the height of the object. So let's say I turn on this property for this guy right here. Let's have the background set to white. As you can see, the height of this object is filling all the space available here. So if we do the same for the other objects, they are going to fill all the space available. So as the three images here are with flexible heights turned on, they are equally dividing the space available here. And this becomes very useful for many cases. We're going to see that later. But let's say we want to show or hide things in the screen. Uh, and when we have object hidden, let's say I want to make this invisible, just one of them. If I make one of them invisible, the other two are going to fill the space available, right? And without a container, this would be very hard to achieve. Okay, so this is the vertical container, and we have also the horizontal container, which is actually exactly the same concept, but this time the behavior is horizontal, right? So if I keep inserting objects here, they are going to be displayed side by side, okay? All of the other concepts are equal, okay? Um, one thing that I use in containers, this is not specifically about containers, but it helps a lot, is the padding. Okay, you can have the padding set here uh, to make this space available on the inside of the container, right? This is not exclusive from containers, but as we're going to see later, this is going to help us, okay? And one other interesting thing about containers, let's use this guy with a blue background, is that we can easily move things around. So let's say I want to change the order of the things right here, okay? I can hit the left arrow and move this object around effortlessly, okay? Uh, so imagine cases where you need to perform changes in the UI, and sometimes can be a mess changing the order of things in the screen. And here we have this possibility of easily making this changes. And as I told before, with the visible property turned off, things are going to adjust itself, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Finally, we have this other guy that is called just container. Is not horizontal, neither vertical. It's just a group. So things are just floating here inside of it. And sometimes my f- my my colleagues that are perhaps developer say to me that they don't use containers because they are not flexible enough. So they actually are. If you use a floating container like this one, you can make things as you like. Just make they float around. You don't need to be stuck in the horizontal or vertical layouts. Okay. And as you can see here, we can have containers inside of containers. So please look at the tree view on the left hand side. We have containers inside of containers, right? So this helps you to build your layout as you wish. And actually, if you go for new screen, you are going to see that we have some predefined layouts for you to use a template with a container. So let's say the sidebar one. When I do that, I can see that this new screen already has a left side container, a header container, a main section container. So this helps me to, guide myself and have some predefined things in the screen to start my screen. Okay, right. So why should you use containers? For me, it's very clear that it makes the development of the UI much faster, because I can easily replicate things, I can easily move things around, I can easily work with the visible property of the objects without having to do any type of math in the screen. Okay, and the consequence is that the UI becomes very consistent, because if you are using the same layout for every screen, you are going to organize the objects in a manner that is consistent. You are not going to have disaligned things or things out of place. Okay, and also, one other very powerful feature of the containers is the ability to help you to deal with responsiveness. So here I have this other page, right? This is just one horizontal container right here. And we have this image object. And here we have this HTML object. It's just text, okay? So let's say I want to make this page responsive, okay? Uh, of course, the first step for working with responsiveness is making the property scale to fit off. Okay, this is the first step. And as you hit play here, you can have a preview. And now I'm going to make the size of the screen smaller, smaller, smaller. And as you can see, the objects are adjusting to the size of the screen, and to the point there there's not enough space. So what happens? One object gets on top of another, right? And we have this like mobile layout experience, right? So how is this trick being done? Okay, in this main section container, there's a property here called wrap. And when we turn on this wrap property, and as you could see the adjustment of the screen, we have also this minimum height or minimum width properties. And when the object gets to this limit, to this threshold, then they are going to be on top of each other. And that is possible thanks to the use of the container. So imagine how you would do that without the containers, right? So this is another advantage of using it. Right. Um, and if we don't have any questions, I would like to move to the hands-on, and this will be a lesson that you can try yourself later or right now if you want to. And this is containers 101. Let's create a very basic model right here so we can apply the concepts that we just seen. Right, so here we have this very basic uh, gallery on the left hand side, and here we have the item being displayed, and we can open or close this menu from each of the sessions of 0 to hero, okay? So let's see how we would build uh, a layout like this one. Okay, let's start from the blank screen. So as you can see, we might want to use this sidebar layout. We could of course start with a blank screen and start to add container by container, but let's start with the sidebar layout. Okay. So here we have some things already done for us. So right here, let's add vertical gallery. And I'm going to connect to this 0 to hero sessions SharePoint list. That is this list right here. We have the title of the session, the speaker, an image, and the date. Okay, very, very simple. Right, so on the left, we have placed the object. And as you can see, this vertical gallery, we can insert, let's insert another object, maybe a label. And in this label, let's use the concept of aligning container. Let's stretch this label. Let's call it lessons. Okay, let's quickly change the color. Make this bold. Use a little bit of padding here. Okay. So we used the first container. And here we just need to repeat this concept and keep going to build the UI. Okay, so I'm going to add another text right here. As you can see here, we have a horizontal container. So if I stretch, I'm going to stretch each vertically. And if I want to fill all the space, I need to turn the flexible width property. And now I'm filling all the space. And for this text, let's display the selected item from the gallery. So let's use gallery dot selected dot title maybe. Yeah. So now as we select a different session, we're going to have a different title. Okay. Let's make it a little more interesting. Let's change the color. Maybe we can use black for the background for the text, some white. Okay. Okay. And now let's have an icon here. And for the icon, let's use the hamburger menu. Let's place on the left. So again, I'm going to hit the left key arrow, left arrow key, and my icon just moved to the left. Okay. Now let's just change the colors to match what we have in there. Oh, another thing, we can change the color of the container itself. So let's change it to black so I don't need to change for the objects. Okay. Okay. Okay, for some reason it's not changing. Let me see again. Okay. Right. So this container is all black now. Let's make this icon a bit smaller. And let's use this icon to create a local variable. So on the onSelect property, I want to update context and create a variable called show menu. And I'm going to define as the opposite of the current value, okay? And I can use this variable in the visible property of this whole sidebar, So now, if I click right here, I'm going to see this panel on the left. And if I click again, I'm going to close the panel on the left. And the final touch here, let's change the icon. So if lock show menu is true, so if the menu is being displayed, I want to use icon dot, I think it's cancel. And if not, I want to show the hamburger, okay? So this is the point that I was making before. You can easily achieve this type of transformation in the screen by the fact that you are using a container. You can quickly show or hide the containers, and it makes very easy to achieve that, okay? And to finalize, let's have a title right here in the middle. Again, we have another container here, a vertical one. So let's make it the label that I just added here to stretch. Let's get some information from the gallery. So gallery is selected, and this time I want to have the name of the speaker. Let's make it bold. And here we can change the padding to make more space inside of the container. Let's have some on the top, 20, 20 on the bottom, 20 on the left, and 20 on the right. And let's insert an image. Again, let's stretch the image and let's make the height flexible, okay? So it's going to fill all the space available. So for this image, I want to have the gallery one selected, and I think it's image, the name of the column, okay? And finally, again, you can change the color of the container. So this is another interesting thing about the container. And we are done here. Now the screen is working with the container we just set. We can hide and show things very easily. And that's it. So let me check if we have any questions. Do we have any questions, Vitor?
No, not quite. I think just comments.
All right. Okay, there is one final thing that I want to show is a real case application of containers, because the screen is very basic. It's just to apply the initial concepts that we just saw. So I want to show a personal project that I'm working on right now, in which I'm using actually containers, right? So everything you are seeing the screen right here are inside of a container. So I have a gallery right here. I have another gallery right here. And this whole section is a horizontal container. On the bottom, I have another section of horizontal container. On the top, also another horizontal container. So this makes very easy for me to manage the things. Okay, and again, let's say I'm going to get rid of this tile right here. Let's make it false. And as you can see, the other bits that we have right here just adapt itself without I having to do anything. It fill the whole space. So this is this makes very easy to manage things in the screen. Let's try to change also the order of things here. So if I want to move this container to the right, another tip, you can right click here and you're going to see this reorder option. Let's move to the end. And as you can see, I just changed the order of things. They are perfectly aligned and was no effort at all. Okay, so this is a more real case scenario in which I do apply the use of containers. And another cool thing is that you can reuse the layouts that you build. So I have another app here that I'm using this the same concept. As you can see, is a very similar layout, and I could use the same concept to build another dashboard in this other app. So it makes a lot easier your life when you are developing things. And ah, final thing. You can use containers inside of galleries, right? So we have this gallery right here, and we have this other gallery right here. As you can see, they are perfect align objects inside of it. And I'm using a container to manage it inside of the template of the gallery. So this makes my life a lot easier too when it comes to uh, building a gallery that needs to look like a table. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now I'm finished,
One
Victor.
question, Leonard, about you said you can use inside the gallery another containers,
Hmm.
but as you see, you can put together a flexible high gallery. Did you
Yeah.
use it from this case or not?
No, this case I'm not using a flexible gallery. I think I have in this other app here one example of flexible gallery. Let me get into oh sorry, it's not in this app. But yeah, you can use the containers even in a flexible height gallery. And even if it's not sure if that was the question.
Yes, that's the question.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And Leonardo, I
Yeah.
wonder where your data is stored. Is it in SharePoint as well, or is this where did you where did you
Uh
get the data from in that app that you have right now?
uh-huh. All of the apps that I'm showing here today, the database is SharePoint.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
Okay.
but I said thank you.
This is really good, Leo. Are you using any third-party components here on this view, or it's just native?
Yeah, yes, I'm using some, but this is nothing that you couldn't achieve without native object. So this chart right here is a PCF component from Locodera.
Mm-hmm.
This what looks like a gallery, but is not. Is actually a drag pull component. This is also one of our components, and this navbar. But all of the other things right here, they are native objects.
Okay, that's very good. It's very good. Um, I don't see any more questions. People are just amazed by the way things look here. Yeah, me too. I mean, most of the folks they start with an app and they just get it connected and that's it, right? We don't usually
Mm.
pay much attention to the UI. But
Mhm.
if someone is onboarding on this UI uh, journey, do you have material that you want to share? Maybe a site that you think would be beneficial? Just your YouTube is good enough. What would you say?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have too many content about UI and UX in my YouTube. I I
Mm-hmm.
plan to have it at some point. But yes, there is plenty of material that you can have um, more deep knowledge about things. So one advice that I can give you for you guys is don't underestimate this object right here called HTML, because it helps a lot to build a lot of interesting things. So these KPIs that you are seeing right here, they are actually built on top of these HTML components, uh, just as these other things right here inside of the gallery, they are built with this HTML components. I'm getting these icons from this website called Icons 8. So you can find free stuff from there and get the link to display the image in your app. Let's say I want a check icon.
Awesome. That's very good.
And
I got a question. Oh,
mhm,
does anybody else have a question? Okay, I'll ask my question, and it's for you and Rudy.
mhm,
So for people who came to this class and watch this video and are about to buy your courses, the first
mhm.
question is there a specific code discount for those people? And then the other question is, how much money do we make by referring your courses? I'm joking. The second question is a joke. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to say that, guys, but I no longer have any course available. I
Oh,
don't,
okay.
yeah, I don't do that anymore. But I'm pleased to share knowledge like in sessions like this one, or even my on my YouTube channel.
Okay. Rudy, you want
Yeah,
to say something or you good?
yeah. I have only one on Udemy in English. It's a little out of date, but I can get a coupon for the cheapest price possible and put here in the chat. I plan to update it. Uh, it's just for really beginners. If anyone is interested, I'll put here in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks,
Mhm,
guys. Thanks, Leo. Thanks, Rudy. Uh, I think we had a question from Wallenberg as well. Thank you for participating. I mean, I I I don't say it as if I'm part of this crew, but I'm really proud with the community that has grown out of Brazil when it comes to Power Platform, especially Power Apps. I mean, there is a lot of good people there, so really appreciate the work that you guys are doing there. I'm not a very good Power Apps developer, so any chance I get to sit and hear from you, it's always very inspiring and full of knowledge. So thank you so much.
mhm,
We still have 15 minutes. I'll stop the recording for now,
mhm,
and then I'll stay online if people have more questions. It could be questions related to this lesson or any questions based on what we have seen so far. And for folks who are watching this video later on, if you have questions, you can engage me on LinkedIn, Twitter, on email, victor@powercommunity.com, and we'll be able to take your questions and hopefully provide answers. Okay, so let me stop the recording and we'll continue.